Graham, thanks so much for speaking with me. Look, you're in a vehicle somewhere, man. Where are you right now that we can do this interview?
So I'm just outside of the GTA area right now. We're just doing a big rehearsal for the concert coming up December 4th, the album release at the Revival, and I'm stoked, man. It's going to be a big show.
Wow. Well, look, man, thank you so much for making time for me. We're going to talk about that show, and we're going to be talking about music, new music that you've got going. Plus, the fact we're going to be talking about your connection with the Queen, Simone Denny. There's a lot of stuff to be talking about too here, man. But I got to tell you, man, reading your story, so much respect for you, and I want to talk a little bit about that also. When you think about everything that you've gone through to where you are today, man, where's that positive? How did you get that positive energy to keep going to do the things that you're doing now?
Really, it was a lot of therapy, um, and and a lot of it was just kind of getting in tune with my own brain and my own mind, and getting in tune with the universe, and just realizing that we are only on Earth for a very limited amount of time, and that I want to do what I love, and I'm going to do it, and that's what I did.
You definitely did do that, man. Congrats with that. Let's talk about the beginning on growing up. Where did you grow up? And what kind of kid were you like growing up, man? And also the love of music when that started to sink in for you.
Yeah, so my brother John, so sorry, I grew up in Collingwood. I'm from there. I was born and raised there, and I currently reside outside of Wasaga Beach now. Um, and my love of music came from my brother John, who used to play guitar all the time when I was a kid. And he was my half brother, so he was introduced to my life a little bit further when I was about 5 or 6. So obviously, I really looked up to him at the time as well. And I remember he used to just jam with me. I used to bring out his harmonica, which I had no idea how to play, and we just rocked, man. And it was such a love. And I would write these little songs with him and stuff like that. But anyway, I could go to get into it for hours because it's reminiscing, but it's beautiful, man. I love it.
But your taste in music, I mean, you're in a renaissance man. You love a lot of types of music. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, so I grew up with Eminem, and I listened to a lot of Death Row Records growing up, and then I got into metal bands. And I mean, I'm a junkie for genres, man. Like, I don't believe there should be any type of barrier between them, and that's kind of what I'm trying to prove with my music.
Is it the raw power that you enjoy so much, or is it lyrically? Because everything that you've talked about lyrically, powerful messages are in those songs in those genres. What was it that drew you to that music?
Music is a therapy for me, just like it is probably for a lot of people. And when there's days that I'm happy, I write happy music, and when there's days that I'm pissed off, I write pissed off music. And I'm just like every other human being, but you know emotionally, this is how I like to express myself, and I find it just a lot more peaceful when I can do that. And I have a hard time co-writing songs with people, and I hate to say that because I love people and I love being around people. I'm a social butterfly, but as I said, because it's my therapy, I get too into it, I get too invested into it, I get too in my mind about it, that it's almost like it just takes me to a different place, man. Just kind of like what anything, it's hypnotism.
You're also a war vet, correct?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
What made you decide to go down that road? And was it, and how did it affect you, of course, personally, but also your music? Like, why didn't you decide to go down that road instead?
To be honest with you, music doesn't music you can make a living, which is wonderful, but at the time, it just wasn't my time, and I believe everybody has a time when they get to be able to produce their craft that they love. But my time was to get into good shape at the time. I've since lost that, but but that's okay. But it was just, I wanted to serve my country. I remember after 9/11 how much that impacted me emotionally too, and how I felt about it. And I just thought, if I can help do something, then I will. And I did. And I feel great about it. But again, that's not, who I am. It's what I did.
What do you take back emotionally from serving our country?
Mainly everything. And the reason I say that is because, I lost some friends in Afghanistan, right? And who were really close to me. And when I say that, I mean that by, you're living and eating and breathing and sleeping and shitting and everything with these people. And they're your brothers, man. They're your brothers and sisters. So when you lose one of your brothers and sisters, it's very, very emotional. It's very impactful. So I can take that emotion, which I built up in me for so many years, and which almost ended up turning into suicide, and I can now emotionally express myself, with my songwriting.
And I was just going to ask you too, what were the steps that you took to reach where you are now? What were the things that you had to do? And the reason why I asked that also is because, as we know, especially what's been going on for the last 2 years, a lot of people are going through a lot of emotional trauma and they don't know where to turn. And I think you are a great example of showing that you can go through dark times and come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, everything is about, I've done a lot of internal looking, and I can't cure anybody. The only thing that I can say, what helps me the most, is I take a look at my family, and I take a look at everything that I have, and I take a look at whatever being lives in the sky, and I say thank you. And that's what I do. And there's, the one word for that is just gratitude. And I believe that if you practice gratitude every day, especially when you're pissed off, you will notice that your happiness and your mood will change, you know, drastically.
When did music start to come back for you? Or
Oh,
did it even leave? I should even say that. Did it ever leave?
yeah, it did for sure. For sure it left. I was doing, I ended up, while I was policing at the time, I ended up getting signed by a label called Allied Music Group in Los Angeles, or just outside of Los Angeles. I hated it because it was all pop country. And I'm sorry, I love pop country music, but I am not a pop country artist. And I love all sorts of music, but I really, there was nothing that I could do to express my emotion and how I felt. It was more of, you're going to do this, it's going to sound like this. And I was like, and now I went, yeah, I don't like any of that. So what I've done with my wife is we've um, put some of our investments into things, and we've created Country Core Records, which is our style of music.
Which is amazing, man. And I'm going to go back again because you kind of mentioned it earlier, but I want to go back again. What kind of stories do you like to tell through your music?
Oh my goodness, everything. I tell stories, and I hate, yeah, I'm sure that's an annoying answer, but the stories that I like to tell, um, I would say a couple of years ago, I wrote a lot of songs about love and a lot of songs about my wife and things like that. And lately, I've been writing a lot of songs about anger and hate, and I've been really using a lot of my influences from, Eminem growing up, and a lot of like Lemmy, a lot of metal music and stuff, and incorporating it in lyrically to my music, so I can get that emotion out and make it sound cool at the same time. Win-win.
D- but does that have anything to do with the anger and emotion that we've all been going through these last 2 years? Because, I mean, with COVID, being away from people, what we've been seeing, what was going on in the election, Karens, Kevin's, I can keep going on and on with this
Yeah.
stuff too. And of course, the story, what we've discovered with the indigenous children, bodies being
Oh
found. I
man.
mean, so many different things that people were getting angry about to the point where, people don't want to wear masks. They don't want to be vaccinated. Some people are saying you need to be vaccinated. There was still a lot of anger going on in these 2 years. Did that have anything to do with the approach that you were taking in some of your music?
Of course, yeah. Because I saw a lot of that. I worked in a community in a Hawaiian First Nation called Poplar Hill, um, and there was a residential school right across the water from Poplar Hill. I was very involved with the community as an officer up there at the time, and I loved everybody in that community. And for me, and it was really nice because not only did they adopt me into the community, but they also started teaching me first language, which was really amazing. Yeah, and I suck at it, but it's incredible because this is a place in Ontario that we go that's completely non-English speaking. It is all Ojibwe. So for them to take me in there, accept me in their community as they did, and to hear about what happened to those kids, it's just, man, like, absolutely, it's driven a lot into songwriting, into anger, into frustration. And I mean, you can't really blame anybody because you look at the situation right now and we look up to, unfortunately, a government that allowed this to happen.
You speak the truth, my
So
friend.
I mean, so it's hard for everybody, it's hard for a lot of people. Some of the reason I left law enforcement, not everybody agrees with everything, right? So, but yeah, it's very impactful in my music. And I want to start doing more music involving maybe even indigenous sounds, sampling, but to incorporate it as much as we can to show what our actual culture is.
I'm curious about something. Did you write a TV theme song?
Yeah, years ago I wrote a TV theme song, and it was for a hunting show on Wild TV, and it was called The Real Canadian Joes. I wrote it with a gentleman by the name of Tommy Gillum, and it was like one of those hard driving country tunes and talking about rednecks and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, whatever.
That's cool, man. I mean, that's history. That's Canadian history, you know? How many people can say that they wrote a theme song for a television show?
I'm telling you, man, you know what? It was a cool thing, and I even bought Wild TV at the time, which is the hunting network, just to see it. So that was kind of cool.
What also is cool is the fact that we are talking about something that is important. A new album. Congratulations on that, man.
Thanks, bro.
Let's. I always like to make this as the official part of the interview. What
Yeah.
is the name of the new album, and how does this album represent you in this point in your career?
Okay, so the new album is entitled Home Crowd. The reason I wrote that song Home Crowd originally, which is the title track of the EP, and I wrote that with a buddy of mine, Jason McCoy. He's, a lot of people know him, and he's up in the area where I live around, but he's a fantastic human.
Yeah, yeah. Let me stop you right there. Please explain who he is. Like, don't you can't just glance over that one, man.
I shouldn't have to explain who he is, but if you don't know, Jason McCoy is not only is he an incredible multi-award winning songwriter, artist, and really just an individual who I looked up to a lot in the industry growing up, especially being from a small town similar to him. And he made it out of there doing country music. And I looked at that and I went, this guy's good shit, man. These good people. So that's when I contacted him and I said, dude, can you take a look at my music? Let me know if you like it. And he did, and he went, cool, let's do this tune together. So it was amazing. It was something that I can check off my bucket list for writing a tune with one of my with somebody who I looked up to growing up as well. And not only that, but he's an amazing human being. So listen to his music. It's great.
Yeah, actually, he was just up for a CCMA over the weekend too. So I mean, the nominations and the wins with him just continues. But you, sir, you don't just have a connection with one of the greatest Canadian country artists of all time, with one of the greatest bands, but you also are connected with one of the greatest R&B soul queens here in Canada, Simone Denny. So funny how we go from Jason to Simone. The connection with you and her, please explain that, sir.
Well, so we dated for a while back in the day. And no, I'm just playing with you. I was gonna say
I
that.
believe it.
Yeah, he's like, he was shaking his head like, oh, real, for real? No, no.
Yeah, hold on. Let me call Simone up. Simone, tell me.
She's actually going to be at rehearsal soon, so I'll
Oh,
let her know.
yeah, tell her I said hello and tell her what you said.
I will for sure, man. You know what? How I met her was through my management. I obviously listened to a lot of her music growing up, and my manager heard my song Home Crowd, and he went, that's really cool. I think it would be amazing with a big, beautiful voice on it. And he knows Simone. And I thought it was a beautiful way to bring in some diversity into the world of country music. And that's what I am going to continue to do in all different ways and all different types of genres.
Amen to that. Well, is she on it? She's on another song too on that, right? On
No,
EP.
she's just
Nope.
on Home Crowd. No, yeah, she's just on Home Crowd. But I couldn't afford her, man. She's expensive. She's she's great, man. She's fantastic. And just mixing the genres of music is so much fun, and she loves it. That's what she's known for, is anthems, right?
Yes.
So she loves
That's
it.
absolutely true. So let's jump. Let's go a bit in the future because Friday is a big show. You explained it earlier, but I want to go back again. What is
Saturday.
going Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay, so what's going on Saturday?
Saturday night, I'm playing at the Revival for the Home Crowd opener. What I want people to understand about my music is that you are not going to see a country music concert. You are going to see a show. And I like to explain that and express that as much as I can, because I played many concerts in my life. I love concerts, but I am a theatrical junkie. So I basically incorporate theater in with my show, and it's going to progress. So if you attend, which I hope you do, it's not going to be something out of the ordinary, like you just sitting there listening to music. There's more to it.
Where do we get tickets?
Online. So if you go through my website, www.grahamtrude.com, Graham, because I know there's so many weird ways to spell Graham. So the proper way is GRAHAMTRUDE.com, and you can get tickets right through there through the tour link.
Fantastic. Well, just so you know, there is good. Your link will be connected on this video, so it'll be on it from beginning to end, so people will be able to see that and know where to go to. What's going to happen with you over the holidays, though, man? Christmas season's happening. What are you and the family going to be doing over this time?
Honestly, I'm super excited for this, as we just had a son, my wife and I. So it's fantastic. Yeah, it was beautiful. He was a preemie too. So he spent two months in the hospital in Aurelia first. But he's home now. We are absolutely head over heels in love with him. And I just can't wait to spend time with him. That's it, over the holidays.
Dude, why are you not writing a book about your life? Like, come on.
I don't need to, man. Who reads anymore anyways? I'm an audiobook guy.
Fine, then do that, because seriously, your story needs to be told, man. It's an amazing one that continues, and it so much respect for you, man. So much.
You're very sweet. Thank you very much.
Before we wrap this up, I've been asking all the artists who I've been talking to for the last few months, as we speak, we're coming to the end of 2021, going into 2022. If you remember how people were like, oh, I hate 2019. Let's get to 2020. And we got to 2020. And they're like, damn, can we get to 2021? This sucks.
Yeah.
Now we're into 2021. We're heading into 2022, and people are already revving them up thinking, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. The world's going to change. Hold on a second.
That's right.
What advice can you give those folks from what you've experienced to those who think that just because the time says it's a new year, everything's going to change immediately?
So personally, my belief is that the universe right now is slapping us all in the face and saying, you need to relax, you need to calm down, you need to pump the brakes, and you need to have patience. Patience is something that nobody likes to have, and everybody wants something right away. So my advice would be is to have patience and be at peace with your patience and enjoy your time with family. That's it. That's all you can do, and just enjoy it. You can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can say or do to change it. So just enjoy your life.
There you go. Graham, this has been an incredible conversation that I've had with you. Thank you so much for making time to speak with me. Have a great show this Saturday as we speak. And also, congratulations on the new package at home. I love this. And man, you like I said, you are just absolutely showing what going through dark times and where you can end up if you do stay positive, stay on the road, and just keep going. And you're the proof of that, man. Congratulations on all your success.
Thanks, bro. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.